Nowadays, it seems like everyone is an expert on helping you improve your business. But is there really a difference between a business coach and a business mentor? I'll answer that for you in just a second. Everybody is an expert, or at least it seems that way, right? Everyone's a coach or a mentor, or they do something with accountability, or they help you with your marketing. But the reality is they are not all for you unless you want them to be. All right, before we get deeper into that, let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Tia Robertson. I'm the founder of the Black Entrepreneurs Network and the host of this show, Entrepreneur Insider. I appreciate you sticking with me for another week. All right, so let's dig a little bit deeper into a business coach versus a business mentor. Are they the same thing? A lot of times we think so, because when we hear about them, we kind of hear about them in the same kind of context. Basically, that they help us improve our business, or maybe they help us with our mindset. But the reality is, a business coach and a business mentor are not the same. Now, in this video, I'm not going to get into accountability or marketing or all the other things that businessy people do, sales, right? We're not going to get into that because there's a time and place for everything. And again, the purpose of this show is not to tell you everything about business, but it's about to simplify business for you to help you make the best choices for your business, to give you some insight, some answers, so you don't feel like, oh my God, I have SOS syndrome and nothing is getting done. By the way, SOS stands for Shiny Object Syndrome. Okay, the purpose of this show is, one, to highlight some amazing entrepreneurs of color that are out there that you should know about and you should support and you should share. But two, it's about giving you simple answers that help you, whether you want to start a business or accelerate the growth in your business, right? It is an arm of the Black Entrepreneurs Network, which is for entrepreneurs of color to help you accelerate your business growth. Okay, so that was my quick plug. I hope to see you at an event coming up soon. All right, so back to business coaching versus business mentors. Okay, so one of the biggest differences that you should know is that usually a mentor is an unpaid support person, whereas a business coach usually wants to be compensated for their time, right? Who doesn't? Now, does it mean that a coach has more expertise than a mentor? No, absolutely not. Think of it this way. A mentor is someone that is hopefully in the same industry, but they don't have to be in the same industry as you. They may have more years of experience, or let's say it's someone that published a book and you want to publish a book and you've never done it before. The idea is that they are someone that can guide you, answer your questions. They do it voluntarily, usually. And they can really bring home the fact that you don't have to recreate the wheel, right? A lot of times I work with people as a mentor, kind of answering their questions or giving them resources. A lot of times a business mentor will help you clarify your goals or your vision. Whereas a coach is someone that usually wants to take you from point A to point B, and hopefully, if you work together, beyond. As I mentioned, they're compensated. Usually, they can be compensated by the hour, or you can purchase a block of their time. Coaches work with you to develop things that are, I'm going to use the word tangible, but not in the sense that you can touch it, right? But that you can track it. So, for example, they can help you come up with some key performance indicators or some SMART goals, things that you can say, okay, from day one, I didn't have XYZ. And now on day 30, I do. So, for example, times when I've worked with a coach, they'll say, okay, what is your goal and how can I help you get there? They may not necessarily help me determine the goal, but they'll help me determine the steps. So, for example, in building a community, they can help me define what is the purpose of my community, what is the vision of my community, what are the core values and things I want to communicate, and then how do we get there? What does that look like? And a lot of times, here comes that accountability word, they'll hold me accountable. Now, it doesn't mean that a mentor won't hold you accountable, but they're more going to hold your hand, I guess, if that makes it simpler for you. So here's the $100,000 question. Which should you get? Should you get a business mentor or should you get a business coach? Well, I think the answer really, like everything else, is going to depend on you. Where are you with your business? Do you need more of a support system or do you need someone that is really going to help push you forward? Now, don't get me wrong, they both will help push you forward. But again, one is going to help you with the bigger picture, while another one may help you with a specific piece of your puzzle. Now, I hope on a general sense that helps clarify things for you. Why are we talking about this? Well, one, because I know there's a lot of information out there and it can be pretty confusing, whether it's your first day in business or your 10th year in business. So it helps to have someone just kind of break it down for you in pieces. But the other reason this is coming up is because our entrepreneur of the week happens to mention that she has both business coaches and business mentors. She also mentioned some other associates in her life, and I asked her to differentiate between them for you. So I am super excited for you to meet our entrepreneur of the week. She is both a business coach, but she also helps people, particularly people of color, with their mental health. And although there are a lot of stigmas out there, one thing that we also want to clear up, in addition to that whole coach mentor question, is that getting assistance with mental health is not a bad thing. At some point, we all need some sort of support and some sort of clarity. And our entrepreneur of the week, Ashley, is the one that can help you with that. So stay tuned to this feature interview of Ashley Evans. All of her information will be posted down below. I hope that it's an insightful and valuable interview for you. And if you have any questions at the end about coaching or mentorship or just how to get your business to the next level, don't be afraid to put a comment down below or reach out to me by email. So stay tuned for this interview with Ashley. Hello, everyone. I am super excited to introduce you to our entrepreneur of the week, Ashley Evans. Ashley is an intuitive, trauma-informed master healing practitioner and business wellness coach. She has a general practice offering trauma-based clinical and holistic counseling to teens, adults, couples, and families. So something for everyone. As a clinical practitioner, she has extensive experience in training, working with individuals who wrestle with substance abuse, experience trauma, and many other severe, persistent mental illnesses. And as a business wellness coach, Ashley helps BIPOC mothers in the healthcare fields overcome their self-doubt and balance all aspects of their lives so that they can achieve their professional dreams. So with no further ado, hi, Ashley, how are you?
Hello.
I'm so glad.
Well.
Yeah, I'm so glad you can join us on this episode. I definitely want our audience and their associates to get to know you and your services. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a complete privilege and honor to be here and be featured. I don't take that lightly, so I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Definitely. Okay. So I always start our features with a question that really kind of makes you think, right?
Okay.
Um, and then we'll go into the more traditional conversation about you and your business. So, what is something positive that you either learned or experienced, possibly as a customer of another business? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a counseling business. It could be like, a retail business, but it's something positive that you experienced that you incorporated into your business so that your clients could have a positive experience with you.
Yeah, wow. You
Yeah, thought provoking, right?
Yes, which is interesting because that word thought provoking is a part of the title of the book that I'm co-authoring. So that's funny. But there's so many, but I have to say that the most profound one that I have learned in my experience with my business coach. So shout out to Ava Lara. She's amazing, and she is part of the reason that I am, professionally who I am as a coach and as a woman. But what I've learned from her is just to believe in your dream.
Oh.
There is no dream that's too crazy, right? That it's not possible, right, to be a reality. And there have been times where I have questioned that for myself because I'm human. I have shortcomings and flaws and imperfections and doubts and all of these things that everyone else has, right? We're not, as mental health practitioners, as coaches, we're not immune to any of that. But sometimes Avalar really had to get me together and say, okay, but that's your dream, right? And so go do it. And so, not just having that belief in me, but essentially guiding me and teaching me and encouraging me to do it for myself was the most profound experience that I have had. And so I owe that to her.
Oh, love it. Definitely. And I actually do have a question about your relationship with your coach a little bit later. So I'll come back to that. But definitely, that was great. Have you always been an entrepreneur?
No, I have not. Actually, if I'm being honest, I never saw it for myself. I did.
Really?
When I graduated with my master's from Northwestern University in clinical mental health counseling, and I just graduated in December of 2020. And so,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. So, my thought as I was going through grad school the past 2.5 years, I said, look, all I want is my master's degree. Just give me my piece of paper, put it in that shiny little plaque right there. Let me hang it on my wall, give me a job so I can just do what I am passionate about doing. And that's just clinical mental health. So I didn't see anything else past that because that was just my dream, right? It was just to get my master's and to practice and be a therapist and everything of that nature. But thankfully, I had strong minded people in my circle, in my tribe that said, hey, what about this? Or you could really like open your private practice. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to do that because I feel like that's just too much math. Like you got to think about things. I don't even like doing basic arithmetic. I don't know how I passed stats all these years, really and truly. So I always found a reason not to until a friend of mine, CG, she said, yes, you can. You can absolutely do this. And she literally walked me through every step of the way about what I should do to be able to build it. And I did it. I said, you know what? I said, maybe I can do it. I mean, a lot of people are out here doing it. So why can't I do it? I'm just as capable. So I followed her instructions to the T and I did it. And A&R Counseling LLC was really actually authorized by the end of December. And I started taking clients the beginning of January. And I've been rocking and rolling ever since.
Yay, I love that story because you talk about the importance of having a plan, following a plan, but also, working within your network of trusted, individuals, right? Not just kind of, Like I always kind of make the joke sometimes, there's so many experts on social media, but you can't just follow everybody, right? You really do have to find the people that, are in your tribe.
Absolutely. And that's so important. I grew up learning that it does take a village, right? And so as I've, grown and matured and developed over the years, I think to get a little more fine-tuned in that is you need to be very aware and careful of who is in your village and who does not need to be there and is taking up space, because there are people that could be surrounding you with a covert negative energy, and they will present themselves as your ally, but really they're tearing you down every chance they get. We can just call that emotional espionage. You know what I mean? And so you want to be very careful about who you're surrounding yourself with. I spring clean all the time. I'm like, okay, if you're just seasonal and we're no longer, aligned, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. And we're going to keep it running.
Love it. Exactly. Right. So where do you actually find your tribe? And I know that kind of sounds like a really vague question, right? But a lot of times the people we know, we either met in school, but sometimes we make connections with people, mommy groups or, in like a local, regional group, so on Facebook. So where do you actually find the people that are members of your tribe or that can help you in your either personal or your business relationships? In general. I mean, I know you won't. I know it doesn't apply to everybody, but
yeah. So it really has just been a span of different places, and it's funny because contrary to the very popular belief, I'm actually very introverted and I don't like talking to people. So, which they're like, how are you introverted and a therapist? And I'm like, look, that doesn't mean I don't like to do what I do. Okay. I'm just naturally, like, as a person, I'm very introverted. And so I'm the person that kind of stays to myself. But every now and again, I've run into people that have kindred spirits. And so, a few of my friends, like two of my best friends, actually no, about five of them, I've met in grad school. I've met them in grad school, and we are great friends to this day, closest friends to this day. One of them, her name is Tiara McKinney. She's also an amazing and astoundingly trauma therapist that practices in Illinois. She and I are actually working on a publication together, along with a mutual friend of ours, Darius Washington, he's also a therapist practicing out in North Carolina. I met him through a Facebook group for therapists.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah, we were both we graduated maybe a couple weeks apart. And so at the time when we met, we were both complaining about or worrying about how we were going to get our clinical hours to graduate on time. And then we just clicked. And so, I've had experiences like that. I've met military spouses, because I am a veteran and a former military spouse. But I met one of my great friends. She's a former military spouse now, but we met and kindred spirits, right? And so, it's the weirdest of places for me, because I don't go anywhere, go into a situation thinking I'm just going to go throw a Pokemon ball at someone and go catch me a friend today. Right? I kind of just mind the business that pays me, but it's just every time that I'm really in that space, it's like, boom. And so it's like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. But I'm so blessed to have a large tribe of people, that have had my best interest mentors, like Dr. Russell Fulmer from grad school, and Ava Lara, who's my business coach, and Anthony, who's my business, does my marketing and branding. You know what I mean? It's just like they've just been so supportive and so amazing, and they've helped me grow tremendously. And there's no words that I could use to just express my gratitude to them.
Love it. Definitely. Well, before I go to the next question, let me definitely thank you for your service, as well as all of your associates that served, because we all appreciate you definitely every day for keeping us safe. So let me touch base and kind of go back on something that you mentioned about your mentor. You have a mentor and a coach. And so
can you tell us what are some of the benefits of having mentors and coaches versus just having associates that are supportive and, kind of give us business tips? What is the value in having coaches and mentors in your life and in your business?
You need, my belief that I stand firmly on. You need someone who's going to be able to guide you because of past experiences. So yes, I'm all for having, the group of, friends, peers, whatever, what so have you, right? But it can quickly turn into blind leading the blind because you guys are in the same space and or season of your life. And so it is so imperative that you have someone who's already walked this journey, this part of the journey, and is several steps ahead of you to say, okay, you want to think about this, you want to think about that, you want to think about this. And with the wisdom and the discernment and the maturity that they have, they can speak that into you and guide you so that you are not making mistakes that are really avoidable and unnecessary. Not everyone has to learn the hard way. Now, if you choose to, that is your prerogative, as Bobby Brown would say. But you don't have to. They go through these things, right? And that's their testimony to make life easier for the person coming after them. And so it is so important that you have that person, especially, they're able to give you like that encouragement, to say, no, you can do this. And it's not just, yeah, girl, you can do this. It's because, no, I've been there and I've done this and I'm telling you, you can do this. And that has a lot more weight than someone who is walking side by side with you.
Exactly. Oh, I love that answer. Thank you. I always stress to people that, there is an importance of having coaches and mentors, and we don't have to recreate the wheel, right?
Right.
So, yeah, definitely. Okay. Are you a member of any professional or industry organizations as well?
I am a member of the American Counseling Association. I am a member of the American Mental Health Counseling Association. I am a member of what is ASECT? ASECT, essentially, I just don't remember the entire thing, but they're for sex educators, certified sex therapists, because I plan on getting my certification in sex therapy for, to continue my work with relationships and families. So I plan to do that in the very near future. But off the top of my head, those are the three. I'm in a few, different kind of circles and things of that nature, but the three that come to my head right now are those.
Yeah. And for those people that don't know the benefit, not necessarily of the specific organizations, but just organizations in general and why it's important to be affiliated with professional organizations, what would you tell them are the benefits of, joining an organization or at least just learning about organizations that are out there?
It's not so much as what you know, it's who you know, because it's who you know that's going to be able to open doors for you. I know a lot, and I have an eidetic memory. Some people call it a photographic memory. But guess what? I can have all the depth and breadth of knowledge and all of that. But guess what? If I just stay to myself and I'm not networking with people, or I'm very closed off or standoffish with people, they're not going to want to work with me. They're not going to want to refer clients to me for anything, or they're not going to say, despite what I know, and it could be so great for, whatever is going on for that month, whether it's Black History or, as we're in Pride Month, right? It's just they're no, I can find somebody else. So you want to really understand that networking, regardless of what you do, networking is key.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, I'm a huge networking advocate. We have networking for entrepreneurs of color just for that reason. So I'm so glad that you stress that. So thank you. Okay. So, Let me ask you, your treatment services cover specialties from suicidal thoughts to infidelity. I love the range of services that you offer. How do you determine the best services to offer that meet the needs of your clients? And then do you anticipate any of your service offerings changing? Like I know you mentioned, one that you wanted to, for sexual education, but how do you determine what's the best thing to offer?
So with my therapy clients, because therapy and coaching, although under the same umbrella of A&R counseling, those are very separate. So what I do with coaching, like I have, I'm getting ready to launch in a few weeks my signature program it's called the Millionaire Mompreneur Bootcamp. Okay. And so that's completely separate than offering services as a clinical mental health practitioner. So for my therapy clients, I do set up a consult call with them. It's a complimentary 15-minute consult call with me, so I can hear what they're coming to me for. Like I'll say, okay, can you just give me like a real good Spark Note synopsis, and just off of 3 sentences, I say, okay, yep. And I said, okay, off of what you're telling me, this is what we can do. What do you think? And they're like, oh, okay. And I say, yeah, I like my approach or my theoretical framework / model, I'm very eclectic. And so I can run through about 56 modalities in about 50 minutes because I keep myself up to date on the empirically based literature that's out there. We are mandated as clinical practitioners to continue to maintain our competency around theoretical interventions, multicultural competency, so on and so forth. And so because my face is always in a book, because it has to be, right? I'm able to provide such a uniquely eclectic service to my clients that fits their specific individual needs. So they feel like a person and not a number.
Got you. Okay. And so any potential clients that are out there that are watching this interview or that come across your website, can they contact you directly to retain your services, or do they need to be referred through a medical professional or by a medical professional to you?
No, they can contact me at info@a-rcounseling.com. And also, so I also want to specify for therapy, for clinical mental health therapy, I am licensed to practice in the state of Colorado and Wyoming. I don't practice in Wyoming. I just specifically practice in Colorado. So that is just for clinical mental health services. For coaching, if there are BIPOC mothers of color, that are in the healthcare industry and you want to take that beautiful leap into entrepreneurship, I will work with you wherever you are. You could be out of the country, you can live on the other side of the world, and I will work with you because that's not as regulated as far as laws and ethics as clinical mental health counseling is. So I just wanted to very much specify that.
Perfect. That makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. How does social media help you reach out to potential clients and help clients find you? Are you also on social media?
I am. So you can find me on Instagram. Find me on Instagram at @A_R Counseling LLC. And you can find me on Facebook at the letter N, RCLLC. I am on Facebook all the time. At least I try to be. I try to be very purposeful about it. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can just find me under Ashley Evans, really and truly. That one's a little simpler. But, I have people reaching out to me all the time. I'm in a lot of different groups, whether it's therapist groups or someone who knows a therapist who knows a therapist who knows me. And they're like, oh, you need a trauma therapist? Oh, that's where you are? Go talk to her. And so, they're just reaching out all the time. Like I have therapists, message me and say, hey, I have a client and I think that you'd be a good fit. And I said, okay, send them my way. And so we're in this advanced age of technology and everyone is just this all day, right? And so, when we offer like certain services, we want to go where our clients are, and that's on social media. So when you're posting things or you're doing reels or you're doing lives, and you want to make sure you're getting out there because that's how you reach the most people.
Love it. Definitely. And we'll make sure that we share all of Ashley's social media handles down in the show notes below. So definitely reach out to her on social media website. Okay, great. And I'm glad, that you mentioned that your network sends you referrals. But I also encourage anyone, even if you're not necessarily in her clinical practice area, reach out to Ashley, and I'm sure can probably share some of her associations or associates with information for her associates that are in other locations as well. But let me actually take a step back. Well, actually, before I ask you my next question, let me ask you one last thing about mental health, particularly in communities of color. What is one thing you wish that everyone knew about either asking for help or getting help, or, any of the stigmas that are out there surrounding mental health? What's one thing that you would let everyone know that about, getting assistance, mental health assistance, particularly in communities of color?
That your life is so beautiful and so valuable and so precious that the quality of your life surpasses the stigmas that exist, that surpasses the perceived inability to access healthcare, right? It surpasses the systemic barriers that exist to you getting help. It surpasses the cultural quid pro quo that exists. Take care of your life and value it. And that means if you are in a place and you know that you are not happy, you know that things seem to be spiraling out of control, you know that you are turning to things that are really actually hindering you and paralyzing you internally, please come talk to someone. We are not here to judge you. We are human. We don't talk about you. We just want to help you save yourself.
Love it. Thank you. That is invaluable. Hopefully everyone has heard that, and not only have you heard it, but you share it with someone you know. So Ashley, let me ask you from the business mentor side, remind me again of did you say it was Millionaire
Mompreneur Bootcamp?
Millionaire Mom, love that name. Can you tell us a little bit more about the boot camp? When does it start? What does it include?
Yeah, so it's going to start in just a few weeks, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks. And so what it is as a business wellness coach, I work with mothers I work with mothers of color to balance other aspects of their lives and still being able to achieve all of their professional dreams. And so some of the things we'll talk about is, getting to us, right? Who are we? Before we became a partner or a spouse or a mom, we were women. And sometimes, more often than not, we lose that, trying to be the best wife, the best partner, the best mom, the best this, the best that. And we forget to be the best us. And also, you individually are the core component of your dream, of your practice, of your business. And so let's get back to us, and we're going to talk about some self-care, right? And what does self-care really mean? What does that look like? Then we're going to talk about the identity of your business, which is separate, right? So we're going to run through these things, and I'm going to walk each mom through the foundational steps of being able to build their business well and what that means. Anyone can go, online and say, I'm going to start an LLC, and I'm going to start an S Corp, and it's about $25 to get the articles of incorporation. But you can do that, and that's fine. But what does it mean to build your business well, with wellness? What does it mean to take care of you while elevating and enhancing, your professional career and achieving your dreams? And so that's basically what the Millionaire Mompreneur Bootcamp is all about. And I'm so excited to launch. I'm excited to get started. So any moms of color out there who are in the healthcare field, definitely hit me up, come talk to me, because this is something you're not going to want to miss.
Definitely. Now, is there anywhere we can go to read more about it, or should they go to your website? What's the best way to contact you about that
I
program?
would just reach out to me via email. You can go to my website, or you can just reach out through like my Instagram practice page, my Facebook practice page. But all the information will start, you're going to start seeing that flowing a lot more. So on my Instagram, I've been posting about self-care and wellness and, but you're going to start seeing about the Mompreneur Bootcamp in just a couple of days. So stay tuned because it's coming fast.
Yay, love it. And for anyone that watches this replay later, after the boot camp has started, definitely touch base with Ashley, because I'm sure there'll be second rounds and things like that in the future. So you will not miss out.
Yeah, and the first 10 people will definitely get a little discount on your rate. So
definitely.
You want to get in right now.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll make sure we share that as well, to our audience off of the Entrepreneur Insider. Ashley, what other special events or activities do you have coming up? I know you mentioned a book. Do you want to tell us the name of your book and when that's out?
Yes. So I co-authored a book with one of my close friends from grad school. He's like a brother to me. His name is Tim Hollinger. We co-authored a book called 101 Thought-Provoking Questions from the Everyday Therapist, and that will be released in November. So I'm super excited about it. Stay tuned. And when it's out, grab it where you can, off the shelves, and definitely check it out, because we would love to know your feedback and thoughts for possibly book 2.
Yeah, I love that title, right? Like, definitely. I mean, I can just see it, being discussed in book clubs and, business masterminds. So we definitely will check it out and share that, with our viewers as well.
Thank you.
So Ashley, I just want to wrap up by asking you one final question. This has been an amazing, insightful interview, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. So one final question. As an entrepreneur of color, considering your background and your experience, what is one piece of advice you would give to another entrepreneur of color that's, just kind of considering whether or not they want to start a business?
I have 3 words for you. Go for it.
Love it.
That's it. Just go for it, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take anyway. And if you don't go for it, but you really want to go for it, you're about to be singing your shoulda, coulda, wouldas better than Bryant meant I ever could. Yep. So you definitely want to go for it. And also, especially as parents, we teach our children, we encourage our children that, like I tell, I talk to my baby all the time, and even my younger siblings, and I said, listen, not even the stars are, that's not even like the barrier for you. You go where you want to go. If you want to go take over the world, good luck. Send me like an application for reference. I speak that into my siblings. I speak that into younger kids. I speak that into my own child. Right. And so I'm also speaking that into you, whoever's listening. And you're not sure, like you're on the fence, you really want to, but you're not sure how. Go for it. Yes, you're going to make mistakes along the way. We all do. I promise. That one. It's just inevitable. But do not let your fears and your doubts paralyze you and keep you from accomplishing the absolute brilliance that you can. If you know that you are called for this, and you know that even if you slightly believe, but not always, I just need a slither of hope that just a slither of belief that I can do this, go for it.
Love it. All right. So one of your next books needs to be an inspirational book, because you are very inspiring. I was saying, if you're not a speaker, maybe that's something else we need to add to your list too.
Maybe so.
Well, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate this time that you've spent with me this afternoon and telling us all about your business. I encourage you, as a viewer of this show, to share Ashley's information, to touch base with her, to ask her questions. Maybe you just need a pick-me-up. Maybe you want to talk about being a mom, her program, her book, whether you need access to her services, her coaching. Reach out and connect with Ashley the same way you would want us to connect with you. So Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you spending this time with us and hope that you have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Our Entrepreneur of the Week, Ashley, can help you with both your business and your mental well being, so be sure to reach out to her. All of her information is shared down below in the show notes, and be sure to share it with your network because mental health is important for everyone. Now, if you have any questions about the show, would like to be featured, or sponsor an upcoming episode, you can reach me directly by emailing info@theblackentrepreneursnetwork.com. I look forward to hearing from you. And as usual, this show was brought to you in partnership with Relationship Entertainment Television. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that red button down at the bottom right of your screen. While you're there, hit the bell so you can be notified of future episodes as soon as they premiere. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, don't forget to be great.